Okay, today what we're going to do is learn about solving systems of inequalities by graphing. And we have graphed inequalities before, and there are three things that we learned about that. We remember about that. And those three things are already written out that you'll need to write in your notes. And it says the first thing is that you graph inequalities almost exactly the same way as you graph equations. You graph using either a solid line or a dashed line, and it depends on whether you have equal signs in your inequalities or not. And then you test a point and then shade. And a lot of times we tested the point 0, 0. If that rings a bell, that's kind of something that we have done in the past. And then you have new vocabulary. And that new vocabulary has to do with solving a system of inequalities, which is what we're going to be doing in this lesson. And that means to find the ordered pairs that satisfy all of the inequalities in the system. So the key concept in solving systems of inequalities is done in two steps. Step one, you'll graph each inequality, shading the correct area. Step two, you're going to identify the region that is shaded for all of the inequalities. This is the solution of the system. So let's go to example one. The best way to do this is to figure it out by doing, I think. So when we graph y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 3 and y is less than negative x plus 2, we will start by, let's just start by using this very first one. When I graph this, I'm going to start on negative 3. And I have a slope of 2, so I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, and up 2 and over 1, and up 2 and over 1. And I'll just keep doing this for a little while. In fact, it's really best if you can go to the end of each side of the graph. There is an equal sign here, so I know I'm going to have a solid line. And so that graphs the first one. Then I'm going to test. I'm going to test the point 0, 0 to see where I shade. And so I'll put in a 0 for y, and I put in a 0 for x, and I'm just going to see what that turns out to be. I get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 3, and that's actually true. So when I shade this one, I'm going to include the point 0, 0. So this one is going to shade all up here. So next, let's change my color so I can work this other one. I'm going to draw the next line. And the next line starts on positive 2. And it goes down 1 and over 1 because that's the slope, negative 1. And you want to make sure that when you're graphing these, that your two lines cross. But this one, now I have to determine whether I'm going to do the solid line or the dashed line. And I'm going to do a dashed line this time. The reason I'm going to do a dashed line this time is because there is no equals right here. And so once I've figured out the solid or dashed line, I'm going to do a test point. And I'm going to test the point 0, 0 again. I'm going to plug in a 0 for y and a 0 for x. And what I get is 0 is less than 2. And that is actually true as well. So when I shade this one, my blue line, I'm going to shade and I'm going to include 0, 0 again. So I'm going to shade all the way across here. Now I've constructed 3 regions. Let's see what I can do as far as your regions are concerned. I have 3 regions, and one of my regions is region 1. I have another region, and that would be over here is region 2. Oh, there's region 3, and actually there's region 4. So there's 4 regions because we've just created 4 regions. But my solutions are all going to be in region 2. So I'm going to say, what is the solution? Well, it's all the points in region 2. Now, it doesn't matter which one you call region 1 or region 2 or region 3 or region 4, but what you can do is you can name them so you can say which one all the solutions happen in. And how many solutions are there? That question on these will always be answered infinitely many. Okay, so let's look at the next one. You want to check your progress on this one. So I want you to actually work this one before you come to class based on what we just did. And we'll look over that when we get back together in class tomorrow or this weekend or Monday or whatever. So do the check your progress one before you get to class, or at least attempt it. And let's try the separate regions, example 2. You're going to solve the system of inequalities by graphing again. And what we have this time is y is greater than or equal to negative 3/4 x plus 1. And y is less than or equal to negative 3/4 x minus 2. So I'm going to start this by using the color I've got, which is blue. And let's do this very first one. I've got, I'm going to start on positive 1 on the y-axis. And then I'm going to go, this is a negative 3/4. So I'm going to go down 3 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go up 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll probably do that again. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3 and back 1, 2, 3, 4. And this line has got an equal sign right here. So I'm going to make a solid line. A little bit off. Once I do that, I'm going to test a point. And I'm going to test 0, 0. That point falls right here. So I'm going to look at 0, 0 because it's just so easy to plug in. And I'm going to get 0 in for y, 0 in for x. And I'm going to see if this is a true or false statement. When I simplify it, I get 0 is greater than or equal to 0 plus 1, which is 0 is greater than or equal to 1. Well, that's actually false. 1 is actually greater than 0. So if that is false, then I'm going to shade where my 0, 0 is not included. And that's going to happen right up here. The second one, and let's just change colors, do something a little different. My second one is y is less than or equal to negative 3/4 x minus 2. So I'm going to start on negative 2. And I'm going to go down 3 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3 and back 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could keep going down 3 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3 and back 1, 2, 3, 4. And this also has an equal sign, so I'm going to have another solid line. It's a little skinnier because I used a ballpoint. It's a little bit curvy. It's not supposed to be necessarily, but the thing I notice about these two are my slopes are exactly the same. So these are parallel lines. And I didn't really notice that till I started drawing it, but that indicates that they're parallel lines. So I'm going to test, because I need to know where to shade this one. And I'm going to test 0, 0. So I get 0 is less than or equal to negative 3/4 times 0 minus 2. And what I get is 0 is less than or equal to negative 2. Well, that's false again. So I'm going to shade this one and not include 0, 0, which means I'm shading all down here. Okay, so this one's interesting because what I have really are 3 regions. I have region 1 up here. I have region 2 in between those, and then I have region 3 down here. And actually my blue and red are not going to come together at all, and so my solutions are not going to happen in any one region. So I have a bunch of solutions in blue up above and a bunch below in red, but they don't cross over each other. So this is when we're going to say there is no solution, because there are no ordered pairs that satisfy the entire system. And I believe that that's all we're going to go over today. So do your homework that is attached to this, which says page 154. Let's go back up to the very top, because on your notes you have this homework 24, and I want you to work that homework based on these notes. I want you to bring this to class, and whatever you have questions on your homework, we're going to work together in class. So have a good weekend, and I will see you in class on Monday.